in the last stream, we were working on setting up our garden cloches, and we started work a little bit on getting ourselves some of the different essences and the different seeds from mystical agriculture. And right now we've got water essence being made in this garden cloche from the water seed, and then dirt essence being made in this garden cloche. I did make one crucial mistake in the last stream, and that is that I didn't put in the void upgrades into these drawers. And because of the fact that the garden cloches are not outputting directly into the storage drawers, what happened is the garden cloches continued to produce water essence even when the basic storage drawer was full. Put that water essence onto the conveyor belt and then just drop it onto the floor right about there. And so when I came back onto the server, there were maybe about 5,000 just entities on the floor. So much so that the server crashed about 3 times before I managed to get on and fully delete those and then put in some void upgrades to make sure that it never happens again. But it's done now, and if we look in here, you'll see I've even put in an emerald upgrade. So we've now got just shy of 24,000 dirt essence and 24,000 water essence as well. And then over here, I did do a little bit more work on getting higher tiers of Inferium seeds. I essentially just threw down the basic seeds and then went to town with the acceleration wand. We've now got one tier 5 seed. In here, I think we've got a tier 4 seed, and then I think another tier 4 seed in here we do. And again, if we look in the drawers here, we've got 62,000 essence in that one. We've got another 62 in that one, and then another 65 in this one. So about 180,000 Inferium essence. That's because the base is chunk loaded, and as I mentioned before, it's been a little while since the last episode went out. But in good news, that does mean that we can make pretty much almost any seed we want as long as we have the other ingredients for it. And that is something that we are going to do in today's session, because one of the things that I do want to work on today is trying to get a nether star, right? I want to be able to work with nether stars because there are a lot of cool items we can make with them. And specifically, I would like to maybe look towards setting up some kind of automatic wither killing setup, right? But to do that, we need to get wither skeleton skulls. And so the first thing I'm going to work on today is trying to get a good amount of wither skeleton skulls. And to do that, we need to set up some kind of wither skeleton skull farming system, right? We could do it manually. We could get a beheading sword. We could go to the nether. We could get 3 wither skeleton skulls, but that would only get us 1 nether star. I want to be able to get a consistently large number of nether stars, right? And so to do that, we're going to set up hopefully a pretty decent spawner. Before we do that, though, I did also set up this over here. It's essentially just a bigger version of the mob farm that we set up like many streams ago now. Underneath here, we have the cursed earth, much like we had upstairs. We've got vector plates all over it. It's maybe a lot bigger than it needs to be, but it's essentially the same size as these 2 kind of rooms over here with our new void ore miner and void resource miner. And then coming out of that, we have all the mobs being killed by the mob grinder, like we did upstairs. All of the drops are then placed into the small storage crate. And then originally I had a lot more storage drawers kind of all over the place, but these mobs drop a lot of trash. Like, they drop so much stuff that there is absolutely no need for whatsoever. There were like pieces of golden armor that were half used. There were pieces of like random modded armor that were not usable. And so initially, the storage drawers were all filled up with junk. The other day, I went through and I organized all of these into kind of the stuff that I want to keep from these mob drops. And so now everything is pumped into the crate. The stuff that I want to keep goes into the drawer controller. Everything that we don't want to keep goes into the trash cans here. You don't need 2 trash cans, but I kind of like the symmetry, so I threw 2 down nonetheless. And right now, we're storing all this stuff. Thankfully, we got quite a bit of we ain't got a crazy amount of stuff, but we got like 109 ender pearls now, which is quite nice. We've got 5 enderman heads if we should ever need those. We might want to look at doing some kind of automatic loot bag opening at some point, or maybe loot bag condensing, because we also do have quite a few of those as well. So I've set up this room over here. This is going to be where we put our wither skeleton farm, and I'm thinking for the wither skeleton farm of using the spawning system from RF Tools. So if I go ahead and type in spawner here, this guy right here from RF Tools is a spawner, and you can use it to spawn really any mob that you would like, which is the really nice thing about it, right? We can specifically have it spawning just wither skeletons. But to do that, we're going to need a couple of things. The first thing that we're going to need is a syringe, and to get the spawner to spawn wither skeletons, we have to fill the syringe with the blood of a wither skeleton. So let's open up our storage tablet here. Let's quickly craft together some glass bottles. And then also, once we go ahead and make sure it's using the right kind of glass, which apparently doesn't want to do by default, we should really look at getting some kind of like AE system, just because of the fact that, just for that alone, the fact that it knows that it can use any kind of glass in a crafting recipe. But nevertheless, we'll do that. We'll craft up a syringe. We only need the 1. And if we quickly head on through to the nether, we should be able to hopefully find some fairly easily. Also, I don't think I have my nether amulet on me, but I did lose. There was a bit of an issue with the with the server between sessions, and I did lose the contents of all of these storage crates here, so my nether amulet must have been placed in there, which is why I don't have it right now. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump through into the nether and try and find ourselves a wither skeleton, which we can hopefully extract the blood from to allow us to spawn with the skeletons. And then, unlike other spawners, you have to actually pump in different materials based on which mob you want to spawn. So, for example, I did some testing in a single-player world, and in order to spawn wither skeletons, we need to pump in bones, netherrack, and then some form of like natural item like wheat, leaves, potatoes. There are quite a few items that you can use in its place. We're probably going to go ahead and use wheat just because it's super easy to farm. And I'm also thinking of actually starting to grow some nether essence in some of our garden cloches as well to make it very easy for us to also craft a large amount of netherrack. And then we might even go as far as to also try and grow some skeleton essence or bone essence. I'm not quite sure what it's called as well. So we can also just go ahead and grow the bones required and essentially use magical crops to spawn in wither skeletons, which I think would be super cool. So this guy right here, if we don't die, oh, actually, I'm just gonna pop up a little bit here and drink and eat some apples. I'm also gonna get my sword at the ready because I feel like I really should probably kill a good number of the blazers around here before I try this. Get out of here. Did that guy fall off the edge? Like there was a wither skeleton here, right? Oh, he's over there. Okay, that's fine. So he is a little bit weak, but if we just stay above him and hit him every so often. You do have to do it a couple of times. You'll see right now, if I fly back up here again, we've got a little bit of blood in the syringe. We do need to keep hitting wither skeletons until we have a full syringe full. I think I'm going to have to find a different wither skeleton. I think this one's going to die before I get a full syringe. Normally, a full health wither skeleton does provide enough blood, but you can see there right now, I've got 50% of the syringe full. So we do need to find another wither skeleton. I really don't think that's going to be too difficult. This guy, here we go. So that this guy should give us enough to finally get there. I think that might be 100%, but we'll go for a few more hits just in case it's not. There we go. That should definitely be 100%. Now we can get rid of you, and I guess we can also get rid of the rest of them as well, right? But yeah, there we go, 100%. So, if we head on back, we don't need to bother killing any more of these guys now, because we do not need what they have to offer. If we head back through to the overworld and put this inside a spawn, it will show us what we need to pump in order for it to work. So, the only difficult bit here is finding where my portal is. I really should put like a waypoint down by my portal, because I always, every single time that I come to the nether, I always forget where in the world it is. I'm pretty sure it's this way, and I think, if memory serves me right, it's like a lot higher up. I always misjudge how high up it is. Is it like right here? Yes, it is right there. Okay, fantastic. Let's go ahead and craft ourselves a spawner. As always, we don't have to come back to the physical storage scanner. We do, of course, have our storage tablet now, but nevertheless, we're here. Let's go ahead and craft up one of those. And then it's actually surprisingly easy to craft, like so. And the way this works is you can place it down. It will spawn the mob wherever this kind of black circle face is facing. So right now, if I was to feed it everything that it needs, it would go ahead and spawn a wither skeleton right in front of it there. Essentially, my plan here, if we go over to our pre-setup zone, this area, all we're going to do is we're going to grab, for now, a little bit of cobblestone. And I kind of want to have it pointing downwards so that it spawns the skeletons, and then they are like dropped right down onto vector plates, and just like in the setup that we have over there, pushed over to a grinder, which is then hopefully going to get a larger number of head drops, wither skeleton head drops. So let's make sure we place that down correctly. I think you can rotate this if you have a wrench, but there we go. And now if we open this thing up and we throw in our syringe, you'll see it needs 3 different items in order to actually spawn in a wither skeleton. It needs 0.1 bones, so for every wither skeleton it spawns, it needs 1/10 of a bone. So 1 bone will give you 10 wither skeletons, right? Next up, you need 0.5 netherrack. So, you know, again, 1 netherrack will get you 2 wither skeletons. And then finally, you need 30 either wheat, raw beef, oak leaf, pumpkins, potatoes. I'm not quite sure if there's more than the 5 it lists there that you can use. We're probably going to go ahead and use wheat just because it's one of the easier ones to actually use. And then, of course, it does also need a redstone flux. Thankfully, we have our flux network up and running. So if we just go ahead and throw this thing on right about there, that should go ahead and provide all of the power to this guy. Maybe not. Let's get rid of this. Put down a point instead. There we go. Stink cheese, not power out. I don't know whose that is. Stink cheese. There we go. Okay, so power is being generated. So to get these items in, you actually have to use what are known as beams. If I type in beam here, I can't remember the exact name of the block. It's this one, the matter beam. And so I think you can really have as many of these matter beams around as you would like. They're not incredibly fast, and so especially for items like the wheat that we have to put in quite a lot of, we probably want to have more than one matter beam sending the wheat into the spawner, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and craft up a couple of these beams here. I think we'll start beam with like, how many do I want to have? I think I'll start with like 6, so we can have 4 for wheat, and then 1 for netherrack, 1 for bones, and then we can always make more or less depending on how fast our setup is. We don't really need it to be crazy fast because we don't need a crazy number of wither skeleton skulls, right? So that should be fine. Are we actually already out of redstone? Holy heck, we've got 13 redstone. That is not a lot of redstone whatsoever. In that case, maybe we should get redstone chicken. Is that what you were trying to say? You were trying to say we should use redstone chickens. Actually, before I do that, it's not a long-term solution, but I'm fairly certain that we should have like a stack, maybe 2 of redstone dust in here. Yeah, look at that. We got multiple stacks of redstone. Nice. Okay, I'm just going to very quickly throw that into like a pulverizer and try and get some redstone flux from that. So yeah, we'll throw that in there. That'll get us a good amount of redstone. Should be enough to get us through today's spawner setup. Let me quickly get rid of some of the trash in my inventory here. We don't need anywhere near this much stuff. And then yeah, we're going to try and get, like, I think 6 should be enough to start us up. It should be fine, honestly, throughout the spawner setup. I don't really think that we're going to need more than 6 of these beams. And if we do, they're not too hard to make anyway, so that should be just fine. If we're going to make 6 of these, that means I need 24 blocks of redstone, which is quite a few. Unfortunately, don't quite have enough redstone for that yet, but that's fine. And kapow. Nice. Okay, so that's 24 blocks of redstone. I'm fairly certain we've got an absolute, like a whack ton of glowstone, so let's go ahead and get 24 of that as well. And then also go ahead and get 6 of these machine frames, which thankfully are also very easy to make, and that should get us 6 beams. Nice. So, I think let's head back on down to our spawn. Let me see where I can put these guys. So, these need to be placed, I think it's within 5 blocks of the spawner itself. And I think I'm probably going to go and place these in the floor. Now, I haven't tested it, actually, but I think, I've got a feeling that I should be able to place vector plates over these and still have them be able to beam matter up and into the spawner. I think I might put down more of these just for symmetry's sake. I'm thinking here, like, we can put down 2 more of these like this, but I kind of want to put like 2 more here and here. Is this central? It is, but this is not central. What are you playing at, Isaac? Let me re-centralize these here real quick. Here. Nice. The reason I put them down like this, and again, it doesn't matter what block we put down here because we're going to cover all of these up with vector plates in just a second here. But the reason I put them down in the floor is because now we can actually pump in from the bottom, right? Because we do have to keep these fed with the constant source of whichever item that they are sending up. They do also require redstone flux as well, so we do have to set these up with some power, but I think it's going to be a lot easier to do all of that from the underneath. So if I grab my hammer real quick and do a little bit of digging, try and clear out a nice amount of space, maybe a little bit lower so we don't destroy the floor, which I'm doing anyway. Get rid of a little bit of stuff here, clear out some space. And then essentially all we're going to do is we're going to pump out from the garden cloches around and into the bottom of these, as well as pumping in the power. And hopefully spawning in some decent amount of wither skeletons as well. So, I'm going to quickly throw down a few torches here just to make sure that any mobs don't spawn. And we will make this a little bit tidier in the future. But before we do that, let's head on back up to the surface because the next thing we need to do is actually make the seeds required. Right now, obviously wheat seeds should be super easy to come by. We might even already have some. We've got 1. Do we have any wheat itself? Because I think we can craft wheat back into seeds, right? Like this, maybe? Is that a thing I can do? Can I not craft? Is it like sag mill wheat into seeds? Is that how that works? It is. Okay. So we are going to have to grow a little bit more wheat here, but that's not a problem. Here we go. Yeah, we should get some wheat seeds real quick. On top of that, we're of course going to want to get some nether seeds, so we can actually make netherrack. If I show you the recipe for that real quick, it's actually surprisingly easy to get that up and running. You can craft 5 nether essence together to get 32 netherrack, and then the nether seeds are fairly easy to make. It's just some prudentium essence, which you can make again fairly easily, and then 4 nether clusters, which are made with netherrack and soul sand. So super easy stuff. We are going to have to set up a couple of garden cloches here. Now, I'm thinking it's going to make sense if we dedicate quite a few of these to wheat, simply due to the fact that also I'm going to need some dirt here, simply because of the fact that you need so much more wheat than we do bones or netherrack, right? We need half a netherrack, 1/10 of a bone, and then 30 wheat per setup, right? So all we got to do is just, I think we're going to have, how many do we have here? 3, 6, we have like 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7. So I think we're going to go ahead and probably allocate like 1 at the end to netherrack, 1 at the end to bones, and then the other 5 in the middle all to wheat, just so we can try and maximize the amount of wheat we get as much as possible. And hopefully that should give us a nice amount of wheat to spawn a good amount of wither skeletons. And as I mentioned a second ago, getting the netherrack here should not be super difficult. Actually, we might be able to do this right away. Can we make 4 of those? We cannot. Do we really not have any soul sand? We got 64 cobbled soul stone, which I think actually might come in useful. I was looking at the mob fragments that we need, and in order to get mob fragments, we do in fact have to make a soul dagger, I think it's called. This guy right here, the Soulium dagger, to get the mob chunks, which we're going to need to get the skeleton essence. But we'll get to that in a second. For now, if we head on back over to the nether, we can get some soul sand. All we need now is some Prudentium essence and some tier 2 crafting seeds. My infusion crystal is almost gone. I had to do so much crafting with it in order to get up to those tier 5 Inferium seeds. Like if I show you the recipe here, the tier 5 Inferium seed does require Supreme essence, and so I did have to use the absolute, I used so much of the crystal there. It's crazy. So we are probably going to have to make another one of those in just a second here. Thankfully, they are fairly easy to make, although we don't actually have that many oh, we do have an absolute ton of prosperity shards. Never mind. I have no idea where we got those from. I thought we were low on prosperity shards, but nevertheless, apparently we have a ton. I think what might be happening is we might be getting like excess sand from the gravel setup, which is probably being sifted and giving us a large amount of those. But anyway, now we've got all of that, all we need to do is go ahead and grab some of the Inferium essence from downstairs, do a bunch of crafting until we get up to the Prudentium, which is actually not too far. It's like 1 craft. And then we should, hopefully, be pretty good to go. And kapow! Nether seed. Awesome. So, just as before, apparently that's, oh no, the tier 2 crafting seed is a quest. Okay, I was going to say, it'd be a bit weird for a nether seed to be a crafting, to be a quest. But anyway, we'll throw that in here. I don't know if these have to be grown on like soul sand or anything. I think dirt should work just fine, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like that is the case, which is good. Of course, these have got nowhere to output to right now. We are going to do the same thing that we've done with all of these cloches, and we are going to put storage drawers in front of all of these, which are then going to pump out of the bottom of and then round and into the respective matter condenser. For some of these, of course, we are going to have to go to a crafting table first, into an auto crafter. For example, we can't just pump the nether essence in. We have to craft it into that netherrack first. Boom! Before we get ahead of ourselves, the final seed that we need to make here is, of course, the skeleton seed. If we go ahead and look at the recipe for bones here, to make bones, we need 5 skeleton essence. Skeleton essence is made from skeleton seeds. Now, unlike some of the other seeds we've made, to make these, we need skeleton chunks, which can't be made. There is a recipe for it here, which requires a tier 3 chunk, and then a tier 2 chunk, and then a tier 1 chunk, but to get a tier 1 chunk, you need a zombie chunk, and the recipe for a zombie chunk requires a tier 1 chunk. So it's a bit of a circular crafting recipe here, and it doesn't really tell you in the pack how to make this. At least I don't think it does. But as I mentioned earlier, the way that you make it is using this guy, the Soulium dagger, which is made with 1 mystical stick, which is made from a stick and some prosperity shards, fairly easy enough, as well as 2 Soulium ingots. These are made by smelting up Soulium dust, which is made from more Prudentium essence, as well as some soul dust, which you can make by smelting some soul stone, which is also fairly easy to make. It's just soul sand and sun. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm fairly certain that we have a little bit of soul stone in our inventory. We do indeed. Good stuff. Not quite sure if we got that out of like a reward bag or maybe out of like a like maybe someone sent it to me, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, it's fairly easy to make nonetheless. And so that's going to get a soul stone. Do we then smelt the soul stone? We do. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw that into the next furnace, like so. And so this shouldn't be too difficult, but the way this works is once you have the soul dagger, you then have to kill the specific mobs you want to get the essence from, or you want to get the chunk from, with that soul dagger, right? So we could kill some zombies, and that would get us, it would give us a chance. It's not guaranteed, but it gives us a chance of getting the zombie chunks. So we kind of want to try and kill a couple of skeletons to try and get those 4 skeleton chunks to make the skeleton seeds. Now, We don't really have a good space to spawn mobs, and so what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to take away all of the torches in this room. I did take away the Feral Lantern, which is why there are so many torches in this room, by the way. But I'm going to take away all the torches, and that should spawn, hopefully, a decent number of mobs. You can see already there is a skeleton there. I'm not going to kill you, because I would like to kill you with my dagger in just a second, my friend. So if you could just wait there, I will be right with you. Let's just grab some soul dust. Let's go ahead and, is it smelt the soul dust? It is. We need to smelt it again. So it's 3 tiers of smelting. We'll throw that back in there. It shouldn't take more than a second or two to get both of these, he said, question mark. Really? What do I need to, Solarium dust. Can I not smelt this? Oh, of course, I have to craft it into the Solaris. I see. Okay, hold on then. Hold on. My bad. We need to craft this with some of the Prudentium essence. We need just 2 of these, which means I need 1 more of those, which again should not be too difficult. We've got the essence ready to go. Throw in, again, might as well use this crystal. It's already almost done. And then that should be everything we need to go ahead and get another 1 of those. And now we can go ahead and smelt that up. My bad. There we go. And then while we're waiting for that, we can always go ahead and craft up the mystical stick. Again, shouldn't be too difficult. Get rid of some of this soul sand and stuff we don't need. And boom. Boom, we have ourselves a dagger. Nice. So, let's make sure not to die here. We'll eat up on apples, and then hopefully, if we go and kill this guy, we'll get our first skeleton chunk. That would be very nice. I think it's a 20% drop chance, so it's not crazy high, actually. It's quite a low drop chance, all things considered. Let's get rid of even more torches here, try and incentivize the spawning of yet more mobs. Don't know if I should be doing that with my dagger. It might use up a little bit of durability, although I don't think it does for torch breaking. Not really the optimal way, I don't think, of trying to spawn mobs, all things considered, but that's fine. Sounds like they're all under the chest here. Oh, I've put down glowstone, haven't I? I'm a fool. I completely forgot about that. I've put glowstone on the floor there, which is why they're not spawning. We don't necessarily need creeper chunks, but any mob chunk that we can get, because some of them are craftable into other chunks, I definitely want to try and get... Oh, lag, please. I definitely want to try and get a skeleton chunk, if possible. Those are the ones that we're actually after. But I think really any chunk is useful, especially lower tier chunks, because they can be crafted up into higher tier chunks, like the zombie chunks that we saw earlier being crafted into skeleton chunks. Although spiders might be higher, I'm not too sure. So we did get an experience chunk, which is not really what I'm after. We also got a spider chunk. Now, I don't think that a spider chunk is usable in the recipe for the skeleton. It's not, but you can smelt it into a tier 3 chunk and then use that tier 3 chunk to make a skeleton chunk. So they are useful to have. Very much so. We can actually put that to good use and try and get skeleton chunks out of that, which is good. All right, so we've got 1 zombie chunk, which we can, of course, craft up to a skeleton chunk. We've also got 1 spider chunk, which we can craft up to a skeleton chunk. So we are 2 chunks away. We're halfway there for what we're after. Enchant the dagger with looting, you get more chunks. That's not a bad idea. Do I just throw that into like a, oh, I guess we could do it with like, we don't have a book of looting, right? Like we don't have that just ready to go. I guess we could just like enchant it and see what happens, maybe? Give me the enchanter, like so. And then for now, let's go ahead and throw this down somewhere where there is power, such as right about here. Does it need power? It doesn't need power. In that case, never mind, chat. Let's go ahead and throw this down somewhere where maybe it looks a little bit nicer. I don't really know if that is a place that exists right now, so it's going to go down right about there. And then let me quickly grab a little bit more in the way of rotten flesh, so we can make another leather here real quick, get another book. And then what do we need? We need a lapis. I think a stack should be more than enough. Kapow. We don't need the boot, that's fine. I'm pretty sure you could also add Solarium to your Tinker's tools. Oh, really? So, like, you can just, you can upgrade your Tinker's tools to also have a chance to get the mob drops. That's interesting. Again, that probably would have been a better way to go about it, but that's fine. We need a book and quill, so give me the leather, give me a book, and then, do we not have paper? Oh, we don't. Okay, we should have a lot of sugarcane though, right? Well, we've got enough sugarcane. I don't know if I'd quite classify that as a lot of sugarcane, but it's enough to get done what we're trying to get done. So give me a book, and then what else do we need from that? We needed ink sacks and just like a bottle, I think, to make the book and quill. Oh, we did a feather. Thankfully, we do have feathers. Gosh, dang it. It took us so long to get feathers the last time. I had flashbacks there to us trying to get feathers earlier in the pack. Thankfully, we already have them. So that is very easy to do. And so now, if we come back over here and we throw you in like so. Is any head acceptable? Like if I just throw in any old random head, is that going to work? I'm going to grab like, let's have a look. What do we have here? We've got a lot of heads. I'm going to grab some creeper heads. And by that, I mean all of them. It might need like 3 heads, I think, for this to work, looking at the recipe. So if I put 1 in, excuse me? 1 head gets me looting 1. It does look like you need 3 heads in order to get looting 3, but that's fine. And then we just need another anvil, right, to throw all that together. And then, oh, no, you don't. Not today. Not today. That's not how I'm going out. Not like this. All right, then give me an anvil. I think we already did make an anvil, but I may have lost it at some point. All right, boom. Where's my dagger? It's there. Boom, boom. Mob chunker. Mark 1. Boom. Okay, so it's got 340 durability left. Not a whole lot, but it is now equipped with looting 3. And so hopefully, oh my goodness, that is a fair few mobs. Should probably also, oh god, hello. Should probably have also looked at adding like damage to it. Potentially. Oh gosh, there were so many of them. What the heck? Like, it's a crazy number. Oh. Where were the creepers? Oh, let's not die. 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 Let's play it cool. They're so strong. Especially the ones with armor on. Jeez. Alright, I'm going to kill all the non-zombies with my katana. Not non-zombies, the non-skeletons with my katana. In the hopes that maybe, just maybe, I can kill a few skeletons and maybe get a mob chunk. I see a skeleton chunk. I saw one. It's right there. We'll come back to it in a second. For now, we just need to stay alive and not pick up too much chicken. Alright, you're next. Get out of here. No mob chunk. That's fine. You guys scare me. So just get out of here, alright? Get out of here. There were so many creepers. What the heck? Ah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. He's dead. Alright. Please give me a chunk. That would be very nice of you. That is not a chunk. Please give me a chunk. That is not a chunk. That's a mob chunk. That's a mob chunk. I've got enough mob chunks. Gosh, why are the spiders attacking the skeletons? It makes no sense. Anyway, I'm going back. We've got everything it takes. For the time being, I'm going to just like hide away from all of the bad guys. We got 2 skeleton chunks. We got, I think, 2 zombie chunks. We do. So we can work with that. We can work with this and get what we're after. Holy heck. Okay. All right, for the time being, let's, to prevent death, I'm just going to, this area is under construction, and is temporarily closed to the public, okay? Give me a sign. Hazardous, is that how you spell hazardous? Work environment. Do not enter. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see here. Skeleton essence. We are trying to make these skeleton chunks. So to do that, we need to get a tier 2 chunk, which I believe we can get. Oh no, we get a tier 1 chunk by smelting these zombie chunks. So throw that in here. So I think absolutely everything done to get bones is the hardest way possible. We are getting bones from our spawner, but I think the like it would take a long cable or maybe some kind of like wireless item transfer to get it across the base, and so I think it'd just be more, not necessarily easier, but more coherent to just do it this way. And to be growing it, to be growing everything like on site, right? And then finally, if we go back into our storage tablet here, also we are completing quests. And so, you know, at the end of the day, it's all worth it, right? Give me 2 more skeleton chunks. And finally, let's go ahead and craft up the freaking seed, shall we? So what am I missing here? I'm missing, of course, the base seed, which we should maybe just craft like a stack of, or as many as we can of, because we need those for every single seed that we make. The same is kind of true for the tier 1 crafting seed. We should really just make as many of those as we can as well, because we need those for everything. Also, we could, if we wanted to, I guess, craft more of the tier 2 seeds, but not quite as necessary, I don't think. And then I think that should be enough to go ahead and do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gets us more than 4 of those, which is the perfect amount to get us the tier 3 seed. Nice. Boom. And boom. All right. Finally. It took us a while, but we have 1 tier 3 skeleton seed. So, if we come back over here and we throw this into one of our garden cloches here, that should begin to make some skeleton essence. Like so. We, of course, do also need to put a little bit of dirt in there as well. Thankfully, dirt is pretty easy to come by. Like so. And if we go and look over here, you can see already we've got quite a bit in the way of nether essence, which is quite nice. Wheat, we're getting in abundance, which is also quite nice. We're probably going to have to get rid of those seeds somehow, because we don't need the seeds. And so what I'm thinking here is we might go ahead. Do I have any drawers in my system already? I've got a couple of 2x2 drawers, but I don't really want 2x2 drawers. I want to get a few more standard drawers, specifically like however many we need here. And I made too many. I need 1 there, and then 1 here, and then these other ones are not useful right now. What I want to do instead is get the drawer that holds 2. So these ones right here, I need like 6 of those. And now, of course, I'm completely out of chests. Gosh dang it, because I just wasted them all on the thing that we just made. That's fine. Thankfully, chests are incredibly easy to make, especially when you've got a tree farm that just produces an excessive amount of wood. Give me as many of those as you can get. And so, yeah, we'll do something like this. Again, if we throw on the void upgrade, it'll just void any excess seeds that come out as well, which is quite nice. So all we need now is to get more of those conveyor belts, these guys right here. You could put only one door in the middle and make the conveyor belt. That's a good point, actually. You make a very coherent and well thought out point. And thus I will heed this advice, because it is good advice. It is very good advice. Indeed. So, first question, can you actually have floating conveyor belts? Like, do the conveyor belts need to have an item? I did not mean to try and eat that at all. Do the conveyor belts need to have some kind of block beneath them, or can you just have them floating? Because if you can have them floating, that would be great. I know we need a block here to, like, physically have them come out. But, like, once they're out... All right, so this is going to pull out and drop straight into there, like so. The rest of these, we just need standard conveyor belts for, which we no longer have because I've crafted them all into the next tier of conveyor belt, but that's fine. If we do something like this, please push them. There we go. See, I quite like that. I quite like that. Yes, you can float conveyor belts. Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at that. So now we can get rid of the cobblestone underneath. Oh, nice. I might put something under there anyway, just to make it look a little bit more normal and less weird. But I do like this. It's going to make it a lot easier for us to pump out of this and then into where we need it to go. So this is also working. You just need a conveyor belt to pull you out as well. Like so. Good stuff. And then over here, the same setup. We need to pull out straight forward. Like so. Good stuff. And there we go. So now we're producing wheat, we're producing nether essence, and we're producing the bone essence here. So the next thing we need to do is actually begin crafting the bone essence and the nether essence into netherrack and bones respectively, so we can actually pump them where they need to go, right? So let's do this. Let's also, before I forget, let me see here. I think I've got a couple of void upgrades spare. I do indeed. Let's go ahead and quickly throw void upgrades into all of these, just so I don't come back to the same mess that I did last time. That would not be good at all. So this is where the garden cloches are, like so. Let's make sure we go to either end, and also make sure we put down enough torches to make sure we don't actually just get overrun and hoarded by an excessive number of mobs. That should be fine, if a bit too far. And then we're going to pump those around and up into the specific area here. So, I think we are probably going to need some kind of crafter. There are the crafters from RF Tools, although I don't know if we necessarily need super fast crafting for this. Again, we don't really need that much netherrack or that many bones to get the spawning going here, and so I might just go with the standard analog crafter. Although at the same time, these are also fairly easy to make, right? So you know what, sure, let's go with the RF Tools crafter. We're going with the RF Tools spawning setup. I feel like we might as well go ahead and bite the bullet and also use the RF Tools crafters, which I also think are a lot more feature-rich than the ones from Extra Utilities 2 as well. So we'll make a few of these. We are going to have to grab our own oak wood because, of course, the storage scanner does not like it when we use whatever we've shift-clicked in. Give me a tier 1 crafter. And then, is it 2 to make the next one? Oh, it's just, again, the same idea there to make a tier 2 crafter. And then we definitely don't need a tier 3 crafter, like, at all, I don't think. But nevertheless, we have it now. And also, actually, I think the, if I'm not mistaken, the crafters, can these craft multiple things at once? I never remember. Let me see here. So, just over here, that's where the garden cloche is, and so in front of that should be the drawer. It is. Nice. Let me take a quick peek in here so I can get acclimatized to what this is going to do. Yes, they can. The tier 3 can do up to 7 recipes. Nice. I like it. So. In that case, then, give me... Can I not pull out the bottom there? Oh, I can shift click, right? Can I pull out from there? No? Okay, let's go quickly grab some nether essence and some bone essence real quick, aka skeleton essence. And let's get these recipes carved out. Having 2 crafters working at the same time, having 1 crafter doing 2 recipes at the same time is going to be quite nice here. So let's see. I would like you to, first of all, craft up... I think it's just this. Hold on. Get rid of that, get rid of that. I think that's the first recipe. And then the second recipe here I would like you to craft up is... I think the exact same, but with bones. Like that. Nice. And you get 8 and 32 respectively, which is nice. It does require power. That is fine. It shouldn't be too hard for us to make another flux point to pull all that juice out of the system. We are definitely going to need another block of redstone, as we did not. We used them all earlier to make our matter beamers, which means we are going to have to grab our redstone from the sag mill real quick. Remember to set the input to have a memory of both essences so it doesn't jam up. Does that mean that it always like keeps spots free for the essences? Because that would be very nice indeed. Okay, a block of redstone acquired. I think we don't have these, but I think I can make more of these. And I'm also fairly certain we now have quite a lot of ender pearls and quite a lot of blaze powders for making more of these flux cores. Also not particularly difficult. And kapow. Nice. Cool. So let's throw that down onto our crafter. That is the difference between the RF Tools crafter and the analog crafter. The RF Tools crafter does, of course, require power, but I don't think it's that much. And it is a bit more feature-rich, which is nice. So we'll throw that down there. That's going to go ahead and begin booting it with power. So slow mode, I think, is probably fine. We don't need it to be too quick here. And then all items in the input slot are consumed. Keep 1 item in every input slot. I think we'll go with keep. I think that's fine. Results of the crafting operation will go to the output buffer, we'll go to the input buffer. So we want those to go to the output buffer so we can actually output them elsewhere. So if we go ahead and grab some item ducts here, and then also go ahead and craft up some more item conduits here, because we do need more than that. Hopefully we got these ready to go. We don't. Do I have more pulsating iron ready to go? I do not. Oh my goodness. I was not prepared for this part of the setup. Put several bits of essence in each type and hit R. Is that this one? Remember the current items. Oh, I see. Okay, so if we do something like... No. On to activate. If we do this, and then we do... Do I have my bone essence on me? No? That. And then we hit R. Now it's going to remember. So now when I ignored, it's going to keep these slots available for those things. Nice. Okay, cool. That's cool. I like it. The Twitch chat is telling me that we want to go ahead and hit R again. That way it's going to... Yeah, that way it's going to, if we take the bones out, it's still got a slot there for bones, and so it will never, like, fully back up with netherrack, which is probably likely to do, maybe, because we make more netherrack than we do bones. And then now, all we need to do is just pump everything that's not wheat into this tier 1 crafter. So we'll just run a cable from there. We can even go straight through. I'm going to set this to extract, always active, and then we're just going to run that straight through like this. Before I do finish that up, I do want to quickly go ahead and make sure that we lock all of these drawers here to make sure they don't actually accept any other items in them, and they always have the correct essence in. That way we don't end up backing up the system at any point. So just lock that, and lock that. There we go. Good stuff. And so now, if we just run these item conduits over, we should be pretty much good to go, guys. So this one is Bone Essence. Run that out. Again, extract without redstone signal, so always active, like so. Bring that along. Do I want to go up? Yeah, we'll bring these, like, up like this. Just to do less digging, essentially. And also, it's all kind of hidden behind the scenes anyway. And then if we set you to insert, that should go ahead and begin bringing in a bunch of nether essence and bones. It is indeed, and it's crafting those all up, which is nice. Those are then going to, of course, be pumped over into here. And then finally, we just need to go ahead and bring out the, I guess we'll go in with like another channel just to make it easier on the number of item conduits that we use. So for example, over here, this is the drawer that's holding all the wheat. If we go in here and we set this to extract on the brown channel, always active, that means that we can then run this across and up and then connect it in with this. And then also just continue on like so. That way we can just have everything run through one channel as opposed to having to have like two separate lines here. You know, we can of course come over here and then extract on the brown channel, always active, and that way this stuff will also come out with everything else. Although, oh no, yeah, that's fine. That's fine because we can just filter the inputs on these, right? Instead of, I was wondering how we would go about getting these to only accept certain items, but we can go ahead and just filter each one if necessary here. So the middle's there, might as well come up right about here. We are going to do just a few more of these, as well as I think 6 item filters if we want this to work as intended, but we are pretty much there, guys. So all we're going to do here is we're just going to run these along like so, and then we're going to have 4 of these pulling in the wheat, and then just 2 pulling in the other items, right? So boom. And then let's go with, I guess we'll have this one here. Oh, we'll have this one here for inserting, not extracting, inserting on the brown channel. You can go ahead and receive. It's not going to be already receiving, I guess, netherrack is what this one's going to receive because it's already chosen for us. So edit the filter settings, netherrack. Nice. Okay, so netherrack is going to go in there. That's fine. Next up is bones. I would like to go ahead and filter this one properly, if I can. So let's go ahead and set the filter up before we set the item to insert, if we're thinking ahead here. Whitelist bones into here. Insert on the brown channel, never extract. Nice. Okay, and then everything else is going to be wheat, which is quite nice because you can just do it all at once. So if we allow this to... I'm going to grab some wheat real quick. I was going to let it go and just hope that it pulled wheat in, but I think it makes a lot more sense if we just grab the wheat, make sure that all of these are set to wheat, and then boom, brown, insert, boom, brown, insert, don't extract, brown, insert, don't extract. You don't have to untick extract, but why not? And then just for my like OCD here, I'm going to go ahead and untick extract there. So all of these should now be receiving wheat. They are indeed. Good stuff. We do then, of course, still need to provide... oh, you're not receiving wheat. Why are you not receiving wheat? Did I do this the wrong way around on this one? Did I put... Yeah, did I put like extract first or something? That's fine. We do need to get power to all of these guys. And so the next thing I'm going to need to get here is some form of conduit. Preferably some energy conduits. They're going to make our lives a lot easier. Do we have any energy conduits, actually, before I make any more? We do not. Do I have what it takes to make basic energy conduits? I do, nice. Although I don't think that 8 is quite going to be enough, just because of the way that I've set these up here. But we can get the first few down, and then we're probably going to want to get like another flux point to provide power to all this. Give me all the conduit binder. Give me some more energy conduits, and I think, guys, that we are very almost good to go. Like we do need to get, we need to turn these on. I think with a lever, I believe, for the beams. That could prove difficult. I might, I'm thinking it might make a lot more sense if we change this so that all of the conduits are on the inside, redstone conduit and a redstone lamp, and leave. That's a fair point. Yeah, we could just put, I always forget about the redstone conduits. Like, I was thinking if we, what we could do is we could, move these conduits to the inside and then cover them with conduit facades. But no, I do prefer the idea of the redstone conduit. This one, of course, providing the redstone signal. How in the world did you get there? Just like place that in the air. Like so. We'll run that down and out like that. And so I'm being told like did you say a lamp? Can I not just put like a block of redstone here? Or do I need like a lever or something? I think a lever would work, right? Like, can I do that? Thus enabling these. So these are not connected to the spawner. That's the current message that we get. Let me try and escape real quick. So I don't know if you can use just any old wrench for this, but I do know that the wrench from RF Tools works, the smart wrench, and it's fairly easy to make, so we'll go ahead and make it. And then all you got to do is actually just right-click and link these like so. Excuse me? Smart wrench is now on focus mode. No, I want it on standard mode. There we go. So right-click, like that. Let's go ahead and link those like that. And so these are not providing redstone flux. I think that's because this is not on yet. You need to change the conduit connections so the signal is transmitting. I need to put that to output. And also actually connect this up to power, right? Is that right, though, if I set that just to output like that? I'll make it a strong signal. Why not? Output, strong signal. I don't think it necessarily matters. I don't think it needs a strong signal. But we'll do it just to play on the safe side. Output, strong signal. Output, strong signal. Output, strong signal. And then I think that's all of them, right? Did I do all of those there? And then now we need to provide this power, right? So if I do like this, it's a little awkward. But if I set that to the Stink Cheese network, that should begin to receive power. Oh, look at that. That's setting those up to here. I would like to turn these off, please. Please cancel the transmission, because I don't actually want any skeletons spawning just yet, because none of this is actually set up, but it does work. And if we can look up here, you'll see that it's got 6 bones in already, and only needs 0.1 for every skeleton that spawns. You'll see the bottleneck is really getting that 30 wheat in there. But guys, now all we need to do is cover up the massive hole in the floor that we've made. We'll just throw some stone down, and then throw down all of our vector plates, throw down a grinder, and we should be good to go. So vector plates, I know we've got a few of, 63 by the looks of it. We really don't need to fill this whole area with vector plates, simply due to the fact that we know the wither skeletons are going to spawn right here. They're going to literally drop right out of that, right out of the spawner there. So we definitely don't need to have the whole floor covered with them. Just to play it a little bit more safe, I will cover a larger than is necessary area for the time being here. We can always tweak it if we need more of an area covered, but I think this should be fine. So we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll push this here, and then we're going to have our grinder right about there. So let me quickly see here. Mob grinder, we're after this one here from Mob Grinding Utilities. Fairly easy to make, it just requires an absolute butt-ton of iron swords, but once you have those, it really isn't all too bad. What am I missing here? The redstone block and the iron block. Should be easy enough. Block of redstone. And I'm really out of redstone again. Oh my goodness. Every single time. So we'll throw you down. We'll throw down the Mob Masher. Now, one thing that we haven't done up until now is actually look at the upgrades that you can use with the Mob Masher. If we right-click here, you'll see there are 6 upgrade slots that we can utilize here. And one of those upgrade slots is an upgrade slot for beheading. If we type in Mob Masher, there are the 6 different tiers over here. We want to get the mob mashing upgrade over here, beheading. You can put a maximum of 10 of these in there, and that will significantly increase the chances of us actually getting a head when we kill the wither skeleton using the mob grinder here. And these things, again, fairly easy to make. So if I want to make 10 of these, I need 20 of you. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Oh boy. Gonna have to put some of those back in here because we do not have that much space in our inventory. And then 20 of you, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, like so. And then should be fairly easy for me to go ahead and make 10 of those. If we get more golden nuggets, again, shouldn't be all that difficult. I'll make a stack of golden nuggets because we seem to be using those quite frequently. And then apparently we're missing more heads, even though I feel like I definitely made enough, but that's fine. We'll make some more just in case. I don't think I quite need that many, but that's fine. Give me a few more. And Kaboom, nice. There are also a bunch of other upgrades that we can put in here as well. There is a luck upgrade that we can put in to increase the, or looting upgrade, I should say. It's got the little folly clover there, so I always think of it as a luck upgrade. But we can put a luck upgrade in there to increase the drop chance on quite a few items as well, which is nice. Already burned through all of those golden nuggets there. So we'll throw in 10 luck upgrades as well whilst we're at it. And then finally, there is also the mob mashing upgrade for sharpness, which increases the damage done and thus kills the mobs just a little bit faster. And so we might as well try and go ahead and really make as many of those as we can as well. I don't really see a reason not to. Just give me as many iron swords as we can fit. And then also, again, yet more golden nuggets. Hopefully we're not running too low on golden ingots. We're not. We've got just shy of, just over 5,000, which is nice and should be more than enough to get us through all of these upgrades here. That goes as 8. So let's quickly craft just a few more of those. Like so. Nice. All right. So this thing should now be pretty deadly. I don't think we need the fire aspect. I don't think we need smite, although that might be useful. And we definitely don't need Bane of the Arthropods. So. We also don't need to get rid of the torches, really. Those are, like, we can get rid of them, but it doesn't serve any purpose, I don't think. I'm pretty sure at this point. Currently, we have no way of getting to our lever to actually turn this system on. So for the time being, I'm just going to kind of dig out a little thing right about here and just kind of go down and turn the lever on manually. But if we turn this on, what we should see, with the skeleton spawning in, let's step out of his way so he doesn't try and path towards us. It looks like he might be a bit strong for the vector plates there. He does kind of walk away from them just a little bit. Maybe we could invest in some higher tier vector plates there. But finally, if we grab in another absorption hopper, which is going to require another Eye of Ender there, that's fine. Give me another absorption hopper. The reason I go with the absorption hopper is because it can absorb through the glass, which is quite nice. Give me another chest real quick. And then also let's go ahead and craft another hopper. And kapow. Nice. So if we throw this down right about there, that should begin to fill up with all of the drops. You can see already we've got 8 Wither Skeleton Skull heads, and then all we need to do from here on out is just actually go ahead and pull this out into some form of storage drawer. You can see the looting upgrades really going to work there. We've got 46 solidified experience cubes, already got 9 drops of evil, 40 bones. We could even probably cycle these bones back in. We maybe didn't need the bone essence in order to get this up and running, because it looks like we're making more bones than we're going to use for the system, and so we could definitely pump those back around and not really have to worry about it. But the good news, guys, is that we are now making a ton of Wither Skeleton Skulls, and so making an automated setup for killing the Wither really shouldn't be that difficult for us whatsoever, which is quite nice. Let me quickly just here make this a little tidier. I'm just going to fill in the holes that I've made, so we'll cover that up, and we'll also go ahead and throw down some more dark glass here real quick, just so that it's all... And, you know, I'm also going to get rid of the torches as well. No, I'm not going to get rid of the torches, because I don't want any of the mobs spawning in here, really. The only mobs that I want in here are Wither Skeletons. So I will throw that back down again. All right. Yeah, I'm a little annoyed at these guys walking away like that, the fact that they can kind of pathfind towards me. I'm a little tempted to maybe look into upgrading to the next tier of Vector Plate, just to push them a little faster. To upgrade to the next tier of Vector Plate, you need this dark sugar here, which is made with normal sugar, and then dark sugar, or the unstable ender pearl, which is made with an ender pearl and wither dust, which I think we should be getting in here. We are. And then we could probably even go up to the final tier of Vector Plate here as well. It requires a block of wither dust, which again is just more wither dust, which we do already have. So I'm a little tempted here. Also, we can just get a crazy number of levels with this, right? Like, we get them so fast. I think I will do, actually. I'm going to break back in here real quick. Quickly, yeah, come on, come fight me. Come walk over here. If you wouldn't mind walking over in this direction. Oh gosh, we got to be careful on that thing. That thing hits quite hard. There we go, he's dead. All right, I'm going to turn this off real quick, just so I can update my Vector Plate setup. So, that's fewer Vector Plates, but I think we'll have a better chance of actually pushing the mobs where we want them to go. So I'll turn that back on. Again, we'll bounce out of here. But you see, they get pushed a lot faster towards this. Again, I do kind of want... do I want to keep all of this? I think I will keep everything here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same kind of setup that we have on the other side. I might even go ahead and move this down by 1. Unlike with the other mob drops, it looks like we're only getting kind of good stuff from this. We're not getting like random armor piece drops. And so what I will probably do here is just set up another draw controller. Hopefully we got that stuff. We don't, but setting up 2 more redstone comparators shouldn't be too hard for us to do. I think I might already have more redstone torches already, but that's fine. Give me 2 of those. We don't have any nether quartz. I mean, we do, or we definitely do, but it's not being scanned by the system. I really thought it was being scanned. And again, unfortunately, it is inside of the hazardous work environment do not enter zone, but I'm going to go and quickly steal just a little bit in the way of nether quartz here. And then make sure to close off the hazardous area so as not to get infected. But yeah, this seems to be working quite nicely. Again, I would like to put in void upgrades into all of these just to make sure that we don't end up with overflowing items or things being backed up and spewed everywhere. That is really not what I'm after, so we'll do that. We'll do that. And I think we also already have 2 more void upgrades in here as well. We do. We'll throw those in there and there. And so yeah, now we've got ourselves nearly a stack of Wither Skeleton Skulls fairly quickly. And if we just leave this thing running, we should come back to just hundreds of Wither Skeleton Skulls as well, which is very nice indeed. It's all self-contained, so it's all being produced like on-site here with the garden cloches and pumped in. It's very nice indeed. I like it. I like it. Maybe they don't have swords like normal Wither Skeletons. Yeah, it looks like they are spawning in just without swords, which is quite nice. I'm happy about that. It does mean that hopefully we're not going to get any like junk drops in there, but I guess we'll know when we come back next time whether or not we are getting junk drops. Again, I would like to lock these to make sure they don't get any other items in them, so we always do get the core items that we need. And again, we can go ahead and grab just like all of these solidified experience cubes and just get a nice number of levels there as well, which is quite cool. I think the next thing we want to do is kind of look at spawning in some, at least our first Wither, right? Try and get our first Nether Star. So we'll take these 3. Now, I don't know about you, chat, but I'm not a huge fan of fighting the Wither in that it can kill me a few times. No spoilers, but Nick and I do fight a Wither in an upcoming episode of Sky Adventures, and it doesn't necessarily go too well, right? So instead, what we can do is we can make ourselves the grinder, this guy right here, the mob grinder from Draconic Evolution. Now, to do that, we do, of course, need to get some draconium ingots. And for the draconium ingots, we do have to smelt this draconium dust, which is made by sifting the endstone here, or some crushed endstone, which we can, of course, get from regular endstone, which, if I can get to the right crafting recipe here, we can make by putting some lava and some glowstone into a stone barrel and then pulling it out from there. And so I think all we're going to do is quickly whip up one of those. Let me see here. So the stone barrel we should already have. I don't know, we're using it over there, aren't we, for our... are we using it over there? Yeah, we have... no? I thought we definitely did have one, but we can make another one, I guess, here real quick. Let's make another stone barrel. You probably already have some draconium, Isaac. I don't know. I do have 4 draconium. I don't know why I have 4 draconium, and I think I need 5 to make the grinder, right? Is that the case? Yeah, I need 4 for this. So I can make this right out of the gate, but I do need 1 more in order to be able to make this mob grinder here. And so we are going to have to, nevertheless, get another stone barrel and sift just a little bit of endstone. It might also be not a terrible idea to maybe look into automating the process of sifting endstone as well, just to maybe get a little bit more. Although, actually, I mean, fool, even more so, because don't need to do any of this, I've remembered, suddenly. Freaking Void Ore Miner. Our Void Ore Miner definitely has draconium ore in it, right? He says as he quickly scans this stuff. It does indeed. Nice. Okay, cool. So, never mind. Ignore everything I just said. There is no sifting required. Instead, we can just throw our draconium ore into the sag mill and get some more of that draconium dust. No need to go through the hassle of setting up a complicated endstone sifting and crushing system to try and get any of that. Instead, we can just throw you in like so, and then swap out our capacitor that we keep moving backwards and forwards. And that should get us quite a bit of, or a decent amount at least, of draconium dust. And we don't even need that much of it, honestly. We only need 1 more to get the grinder up and running. And the good thing about the grinder, at least this grinder, is that it does instantly kill the Wither. Like, as soon as the Wither is spawned, as long as that grinder has power, the one from Extra Utilities, it will just, not the one from Extra Utilities, the one from Draconic Evolution, it will just instantly kill the Wither. Like, it won't even have a chance to move before it is just a pile of Nether Star and nothing else. It's fantastic. So if we quickly go ahead and craft up 2 diamond swords here, like so, and then throw that together, We got mob grinder. Nice. So, when I was testing this, and there are blocks like reinforced obsidian, which do not can't be exploded. Like the wither cannot break out of them. It can't destroy them at all. But the is it called reinforced obsidian? Obsidian. I think that's right. It's this stuff right here, the reinforced obsidian. And it's not too hard to make, honestly. It requires some grains of infinity, some dark iron bars. We do have grains of infinity and what it takes to make the dark iron bars, but because of how fast the Draconic Evolution spawner, by that I mean grinder, kills the wither, I don't think we need it. I think we could probably get away with something just like an obsidian box, spawning the wither in and then insta-killing it. We could probably even get away with not even having a box set up at all. I think just having the wither next to the spawner, it probably will instantly just die. So much so that I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try doing it like just here. I'm fairly certain that it won't destroy anything, right? Like if I just throw this guy down and if I quickly grab yet another flux point from our system. A few things here, chat. First thing, number one, mob griefing is on, but if you have Feed the Beast utilities installed, which the pack does, and you claim an area, which I have done, the mob will not... explosions don't happen, right? So if I go, for example, into this area over here and I trigger a creeper explosion, the creeper is not going to break anything because of the fact that I've claimed the area, right? Like if I come here and I purposefully trigger this creeper, he doesn't destroy anything, right? Because of the fact that I've claimed the area. It's an anti-griefing measure. Now, the wither, once it's spawned, can in fact, it won't, when it explodes, except the wither, it bypasses the protection on certain blocks. I don't think it does. And the reason I say that I don't think the wither's going to do it here is simply due to the fact that Nick and I have fought a wither and it didn't blow up our island. It did break blocks if we left them there, but it didn't actually like break anything else. So this thing's on. No risk, no fun, YOLO. I mean, like, yeah, let's risk it, right? There's nothing in here of inherent value. I think that's facing the right way to kill him. I think the opposite side to the skull is the one we're after. I've got my katana ready if things go... Okay. All right. Okay. So, the problem here... Is it facing the wrong way? I thought that it needed to face... You know, I tested this so much. I tested this like 3 times. Okay, my friend. You want to play this the hard way? I'm not dying here. I'm not dying here. I'm going to play this the hard way, but I'm also going to play it the ultra soft way because I'm not dying. I'm not dying. We have yet to die. I am not going to die today. It's not happening, chat. It's not happening. Maybe it didn't need to be that many golden apples. See, look at that. You can break blocks. But just not... No, die! Oh, he did it. He's done it. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right, then. 0 deaths. Okay. Yes, I did say that he breaks blocks. There was no question as to whether or not this guy breaks blocks. The question was whether or not he breaks blocks when an explosion happens. And he doesn't, right? There's no explosion here. I knew he was going to break blocks. I thought that the grinder here would kill the the wither before anything else happened. I honestly thought that it was this side that did the killing, but apparently maybe it's the other side? Oh good, the sheep didn't die. So is it this side that does it then, that kills the wither? I'm quite tempted to try this again, chat, real quick. Take 2, chat, take 2. We know we can kill it, right? It's not a problem. If we can kill this guy, if push comes to shove. I'm ready? Just kill him instantly. Insta kill. Just kill it. As soon as it's spotted. Look at that. That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see. It's just instant death of the wither skeleton. Spawns in. Second later, it's gone. That is the ideal situation. And that is, I believe, what we can do what we can automate here, right? If we can automate the production of soul sand, that's the only thing we're not producing right now. We're producing the wither skeleton skulls. If we can produce and automate the production of soul sand, we should be able to fairly easily automate just the auto killing of the wither, right? Super easily, because of the fact that this grinder is so quick and it kills that wither just like as soon as it's placed down. It really shouldn't be too difficult for us to get a lot of this. Give it a second. Boom. Make a wither builder from industrial foregoing. Is that a thing? Oh, look at that. So how does this work? Does it place it down above it? Like, it looks like it's the kind of thing that works above. Let me see here. Obviously, this like area that I'm working in now is not my intended location for the final spawner. But let's see. We'll throw in the wither skeleton skulls. Can you not have more than 3 in at any given time? It's an odd choice, but we can definitely make this work. And soul sand. It does require power, of course. And so, you know the drill at this point. We're going to make a flux point. We might be getting to the point where we're almost out of flux, because we've used so freaking much of it. Also, I can't believe we're still this far into the pack and so low on redstone. Give me like freaking 12 Eyes of Ender, so I'd have to keep making those as well. We still got enough. Nice. Okay. Another flux point. Let's throw this thing down on here. Oh yeah, I can show the work area. That's true. Okay. Do I want it a bit lower? Just to be safe, I'm going to put it 1 lower. Right? I like that as well. That's I like what they've done there, because that means that you can kind of have it place a wither inside of like a blast-proof area if you're playing, you know, without the blast protection on, which is really cool. So I'll throw you down. Select the Stink Cheese Network. That's getting some power. Good stuff. Boom. And boom. It places it down for you. Falls into place. And then as soon as it spawns in, it should instantly die. I took more damage than I liked there. Like, I wasn't prepared for that damage that I was about to take. But that is super cool. So that means that we can essentially, now that we're producing wither skeleton skulls, we can just throw our stuff into here. You know, throw in our wither skeleton skulls, throw in our soul sand. We're not producing soul sand just yet. We can produce soul sand using like witch water, but I have a feeling that's not going to be the fastest way to do it. Dark wither dust? We are producing wither dust, and so we could potentially do it with this, but I was really hoping there'd be like a quicker way of doing it. It might be the fastest to do it with the atomic reconstructor, just turning sand into soul sand. That's not going to be too slow either. Of course, there is the whole witch water to produce soul sand thing, which we could do. If you do it on scale, it's not it produces a large amount of soul sand, so it should be fine. But yeah, we got a few options here as to what we could do with for producing soul sand. But yeah, I think next time we'll come back and we'll start looking at just automating nether stars. We've already got 4 of them. The reason I want the nether stars is because I was looking into getting into some of the late game stuff like Project E and Draconic Evolution. I was looking at stuff like the condenser from Project E, you know? Not a particularly hard craft, all things considered. We do need to get the Philosopher's Stone first, this guy here. And we almost have everything it takes to make the Philosopher's Stone. The only thing we're missing is this Dragon's Breath now. You know, we can make Black Quartz, we can make Prismarine Shards, we've got the Nether Star, we just need the Dragon's Breath, which means we have to go to the end, potentially fight the dragon, maybe have to respawn the dragon if we already have it, because somebody else might have already fought it, get the Dragon's Breath, come back, and then we can almost make the condenser. The only problem here is that we need a Draconic tier fusion crafting, which does mean that we are going to have at least 8 of these Draconic fusion crafting injectors. By 8, I mean 10, because there's 5 items on each side there, which means I need 10 blocks of Awakened Draconium, which would be a little bit more tricky than what we're looking at there. So it might still be a little ways away before we get into Project E, but we can start working on making stuff with Nether Stars and getting into the higher tier of crafting recipes, especially working on stuff like getting maybe some Wyvern armor and some of the cool stuff from Draconic Evolution. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's stream there for now.